Hey guys! Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So for today, I'm going to be talking about one verse that doesn't really strike you when you first read Proverbs, but for me, this spoke to me when I realized what my friends were going through when I asked them questions about feeling really down, feeling really downcast, and this is a verse. I'm just going to summarize. In Proverbs 18:14, the first part says, "A man's spirit sustains him in sickness." So I remember my mom, a pastor at a Singapore conference we attended, and a theorist in psychology all mentioned something related to this. And it was when a person is deemed brain dead or has a sickness, there is a really big factor that depends on a person's will to survive, the person's spirit to keep living, and the person's mind. The pastor at the Singapore conference was talking about, he was focusing more on our spiritual side, where sometimes we're brain dead in a sense that we are alive and we can hear things but we don't act. But in this sense, I want to relate it to those of you who are feeling really down, because it's an encouragement that even if you feel like you're in such a state that you're crippled, that you're paralyzed, that you're stuck in this zone and can't get out, if your spirit is healthy and if you desire for your spirit to get healthier, to become better, then your spirit can sustain you. It says here that a man's spirit sustains him in sickness. So this is not just scientific, it's not just medical, it's actually said in the Bible that when you feel sick, when you feel not really good about yourself, when you don't feel like yourself, you can actually get out of that. But the opposite says, a crushed spirit who can bear. And if you are one of those people who are feeling crushed right now, I'm pretty sure you can relate to this. How feeling so downcast, feeling so down, feeling so crushed beyond repair is so hard to bear, because it's just a weight that sometimes you don't even know where it comes from. It just floods into your life and you don't even know how to get out anymore. And if you watched the previous video, we talked about the weight you carry and how it happens and what you can do about it. And that's sort of the same thing here. And one verse that I want to counter with a crushed spirit is Proverbs 12:25. It says, "Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up." So it's amazing how something so simple as kindness can actually lift up your spirit. It can actually lift an anxious heart. And kind words, as much as I want to say it to you, as much as I want to send it to friends and people through quotes, encouragements, and verses, sometimes the kindest word that you can receive is something you give yourself. Sometimes I have to remind myself and other people that the only one who can motivate yourself is you. You have to choose to let God in. You have to choose to keep going. You have to choose to see if there's any hope left in your life. Because I can say everything I believe and we can show you all the proof that God works. But if you choose not to believe, to take it in, then it's still going to be up to you. So I just wanted to counteract that part of the verse by saying that kind words, kind music, kind books, not just kind, but those that are good and healthy for your spirit, are really important, because they can help you lift up out of that anxious heart, to lift yourself up out of that crushed spirit. And I also want you guys to know that God is God. He created the entire universe, all the molecules and cells and particles and every living thing and on this planet. And if He could create the smallest particles and make them into the most amazing people, He can surely turn around all your crushed and broken pieces into something good. So verse that isn't really as highlighted is Philippians 4:14. So I'm pretty sure a lot of us know Philippians 4:13, which says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The previous verses to that were of Paul telling the Philippians that I know what it's like to be rich, I know what it's like to have everything, and I know what it's like to have nothing. But the secret that I found in life is that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The following verse after that, which is Philippians 4:14, says, Yet it was good of you to share in my troubles. And while I was looking for verses to cover this topic, I realized that, wow, Paul said that he can do anything because Christ is in him, but it's still good that he had people to share troubles with. So that's related to what I said earlier about having a kind word to cheer that anxious heart. That when you surround yourself with people, when you have a good group, not just good, but the right kind of people to help you grow, an environment that helps that plant, that flower, that tree inside of you grow and bloom and bear fruit, those are the kinds of people that you need. Because even if it hurts to let go of others, even if it hurts to hear the truth sometimes, what we really need is a word that helps us grow. And Paul says, it was good of you to share in my troubles. This means that these people were not only an encouragement to him, but they were also people who were willing to take the yoke. They were willing to share, to care, to be there for someone else, which is really amazing because Paul he has like the best credentials that a disciple could have. He was smart. In this generation, he probably had so many different professions at such a young age, which actually he did. And yet he was able to humble himself down. And it's really hard sometimes in our time to really look at other people with an equal level when we didn't graduate, we don't live in the same standard that they do. And yet these people at this time were willing to stick by, to encourage someone who probably graduated or had such a higher status than they did. And that's the beauty of being in God's family. He doesn't care about your accolades or your worldly achievements. He just cares about your heart. And so do we. We are imperfect people. Christians, we're just in love with God and in a relationship with Him, but we're not perfect. And that's the amazing thing, because it's when we fellowship together, it's when you're with a good group that God can work in each and every one of you through your imperfections and through your flaws to bring about a better peace and a unity that usually you wouldn't really find in a normal situation. The past week, a pastor at our church also shared 2 Corinthians. Hold on, let me check. Basically it says, my power is made perfect in your weakness. If that's not the verse, I'm going to put the verse up anyway. And what it says there is actually amazing, because even though I have heard it a lot, it was really reminded to us that it's okay really not to be okay. Like, as mentioned in the previous video, there will really be times when you can't accept, sadly, verses. You can't accept any encouragement from anyone. When someone hugs you, it's like you love the hug, but you feel like you don't deserve it because you're just in such a really down position. And yet God says that it is in those moments where you are qualified to do great things. It is in those moments where He can manifest His power in you, and He can do great things in you. And that is a very, not just a kind word, it's like a powerful word that's trying to tell the anxious heart of yours that you are enough. I love the quote that says, Jesus didn't die for us to make us worthy. He died for us because we are worthy. I think I got the words wrong. As long as basically you don't have to prove anything to God. He literally knows every single part of you that's flawed and not flawed, and He loves you all the same. Like, He loves you no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, what you've gone through. And that's one of the best ways to live life from. Like, I know that there are lots of news going on right now, and like, it's the start of 2020 and so much has happened worldwide and probably to you personally, but God loves you. And I realized in the past few months that living a life from love, from His love, with His love, and in His love is such a different kind of life. Like when you don't just hear that someone loves you, but you feel the proof that they do, it's a totally different thing. I'm sure that you guys can understand that. It's different when you hear someone say, I love you. Like a lot of people in our generation, if this offends you, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. A lot of people would text, I love you, would say, I love you, but the actions, the intentions, the dreams, the goals, the visions that they have for each other don't align with the words, I love you. And so it's really different when you're living in a moment where someone says I love you and that's it, or someone says I love you and they prove it. Like parents. When parents say I love you and they actually show you the sacrifice, or sometimes we don't even see the sacrifice, it gives you more reflection that, wow, I'm really treasured. Or maybe it's not parents, maybe it's your grandparents or friends, where they say that they love you and they actually go beyond what you see and support you through prayer, through encouragement, through different things that show you that you're loved. And so I just want you guys to know that whatever sad feelings you're feeling, just tell them that they're not the boss of you. That you can stay. I'm gonna insert a clip here of a poem that I wrote. And basically it's just about telling your sad feelings that, yeah, I get that you exist, but I'm in control of my life and you guys aren't. My feelings are not the boss of me. The way that my dad says it is, don't let your feelings control you, you control your feelings. Just as, I think I mentioned this in the other video, don't let life control you, you control life. Because the only one who can really have effect on the way your life is lived is you. And so if you have sad feelings going on and you don't even know why they're there, it's going to be really hard, but it's a challenge for you to step up and tell them that you're not the boss of me and you're not allowed to stay here for more than your limit. So I hope that these were just kind and encouraging words for you guys, and that you're reminded that you are greatly, deeply, super, exponentially, eternally loved by a God who sees everything about you. And whether you are feeling super duper crushed, or you're in that level where your spirit is still trying to get to that level of confidence on who you are, finding your identity, just know that you're not alone in this journey, and that people do care about you, people do pray for you, and you can reach that level where your spirit, where your mind, where your heart is just so healthy and so strong. You don't even have to feel the happiness and joy, just feel the strength that God gives you, because that's where you find out that it's not really just you, it's Him working in you, and you can overcome whatever you're going through. So I hope this was another little encouraging video for you guys. If you have any more topics, any more questions, feel free to just message me, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Sad feelings, you're okay. Who doesn't feel you in a day? But you are not my chosen way, so go away. Sad feelings, all you say is it's okay if you stay, but I don't want you every day, so go away. I am who I am. I get the final say. I take control of the way I want things to go in my day. So sad feelings, go away.